Hey YouTube, so I don't know if you remember from the last video, but I received a request to take my niece and my future nephew-in-law, if there is such a thing, to their wedding ceremony in Louise. So the process where we're at now is putting in the small block Chevy 305 that was kindly given to me by Anthony, who really wants to see this thing run. I want to do a burnout, maybe even get a ticket. That would be kind of cool. So what it needs, I've got a list of things, but I need to put in the distributor and make the wires. I'd like the wires to be crisp and simple. I've got the wire loom. Tom Noble sent that to me. That was very, very nice. In fact, I've got a lot of help in this engine. I'd say there's more of other people's help in this engine than my own input. So I need to get this going. So, also, my wife Becca said you need to give me a list of stuff, or you make a list of stuff and start buying parts for Louise. So what does she need? She needs a lot from me, that's right, or that's for sure. So I need a distributor. I have one. I think it's in decent shape, but I'll probably replace it because I understand that's a good thing to do. I think I have a functional one just to get the engine running, so whatever. But I do need wires. I need the power steering pump, although I don't need that to start the engine, so I should probably quit agonizing over the bracketry because I can't seem to solve that little mystery. And I'll give you a look in just a minute. I'm enjoying not having the camera in my hands. So alternator is all set, water pump is all set. I need to make sure I've got the right pulley configuration. Seems like I've got a little extra pulley, extra groove here somewhere, but I'm not worried about that. She needs, well, not to get running, but I should get exhaust done. I mean, put on the exhaust. I understand I can get one for about $250 and finish that. But again, I've got headers, again from YouTubers such as Tom Noble and UDizzy. Thanks. I gotta get this running. Gotta get this running. I've gone through a period of reflection and self-doubt and all that bullshit, and I'm ready to just get out of that funk and make this happen, because it won't happen by magic. I'm not going to wait for the mood to strike. As so often happened while I was working on this, the mood struck and I'd be out here till 4 o'clock in the morning, 16 degrees or less. I need to get that back, and I pretty much need to start working on it. So, carburetor. I'd like this thing to be replaced with something official. It curves over the fender, or that thing, the inner wheel well, and I haven't found one. I know, it's a big internet. So let me show you, ouch, what the car, So I can't see what you're looking at because I'm using the forward-facing camera. So we're in very fine shape for what we've got so far. This is a new, or has a new timing set. The chain, also the cams and lifters, or the cam and lifters. The cam is a mild cam, so not super radical, nothing that I would get tired or frustrated driving. This intake, Anthony painted rather smartly with a metallic charcoal, I think it's called. It's very nice, very pretty. And there's wire looms waiting for stuff. So the wiring harness is, I left it all loosey-goosey. Everything's fine at the firewall. This is the wiring harness from the straight 6. So I'm adapting that to this small black Chevy. So I need to attach the oil sending unit. There's the old one in the block, and I'm having a hard time removing it. Excuse me, I think I just have to be frustrated enough to apply stupid force to it. Starter's good. Need to replace the gasoline, obviously. My fuel pump is good. Let's say assumed good. Assumed good. Power brakes that I got from Tom Noble, bought those. But this was a huge difference. But that was on the previous one. That will obviously stay there for the V8. It's interesting. I can't back up from the car enough, I don't think. But she has a rake to her, so she's oriented like, that. Because this engine and associated everything is a whole lot less than the straight 6 that is in storage. Once I add belts and fluids and stuff, it'll probably even out, Throttle linkage and mounts, I don't know what that's going to look like on the carburetor arrangement. I do have air filter, but, it'll enough to get it running, but maybe not what I want aesthetically. Also, speaking aesthetically, I need to freshen up the engine bay and touch up the paint, get rid of dust and dirt, and let alone wash the car. She's patiently waiting. She's patiently waiting. So yes, a lot of freshening up and stuff. What else? Maybe just talk about life for a second. So I was in the IT field for about 30 years. Not 30 years. 25 years. Anyway. And got out of that involuntarily, but having gotten out of that and into my new field, which is housekeeping, just works a whole lot better for my brain and outlook on life. And because I went from a job that didn't really care about people, except if people meant themselves, wasn't about other people's concerns. And I worked a help desk, which is supposed to be about helping people, and it wasn't helping the people that I was talking to or dealing with. It was supposed to be helping the people above me survive or look good or whatever the heck. So anyway, I found their way of doing things distasteful and against my better judgment, and just wasn't a good fit. But with housekeeping, it's interesting. Philosophically, from where I'm coming from, it works. Who cares what it looks like when you get there? It matters what it looks like when you leave. And if you can do that, briskly, correctly, all the better. And it's a direct service to somebody. I am helping you or all you people that enjoy this space. And there's a standard. It's not like, oh, I clean good. No, it's, checking horizontal surfaces and cleaning certain things in a certain way with chemicals and tools and time and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. I understand that. Excuse me. And I learned that attention to detail from this project. I spent hours and hours and hours and hours focused in on the littlest detail, and I really like that. I want to get that back. And, instead of waiting for the feeling to do it, I'm going to do it and then wait for the feeling. And I know it'll come because this is just such a cool project. She's, I could do some more things and buffing and all that stuff. That's the fun stuff. I need to get her functioning first. Carburetor, need a carburetor. So, yeah, that's the task. I have a list of things I need to purchase. And, damn the torpedoes of not knowing where the mount has to go. Sometimes you have to drill out holes or what. And I was obsessing over that. And I need to move forward with the many other things that I can move forward to get this going. The hood is in storage in the garage, wrapped up in packing quilts. So that's my favorite part of the car. Well, it was my favorite part of the car. This is going to be interesting. I should also say that when I get this ready to fire up, it has to fire up and run to properly break in the cam, which needs a half hour, I believe, or 25 minutes at 2,500 RPMs to properly condition the surfaces of the lifters and the cam to one another. And then it cools down and anneals, and that's the profile. If you don't do that process adequately, like you sort of get it running, you're going to start grinding instead of, temperature honing or whatever the hell it's called. And you'll end up with a crappy half-annealed product, and it'll just wear itself out and kill and die. At least that's how I believe what's going to happen, that would happen. So I would rather be too careful, if there is such a thing. All the fundamental systems, the fuel, cooling, brakes, and electrical, sans battery, and proper connections. Everything is in fine order. There's nothing that's broken here. Nothing needs to be fixed. Just needs to be all put together and tested. So that's where we're at. I think I'll start with the distributor. I'm not going to worry about setting up the timing and everything. That's another thing. Having a timing mark. So the timing cover I have does not have a timing tab positioned in it, which I find very curious. It's a pretty a shiny thing under all that stuff. No timing tab. But I would think by seeing the flywheel come around, the mark on the flywheel, there's one there somewhere. Here we go. It's on that. I can get close by finding top dead center on cylinder number 1 and, zeroing it in that way. I do have a timing light. So I'm pretty sure I can get close to just fiddling with the distributor a little bit to, hey, it sounds like it's running well, and I've got my timing light, so I think I can get close and finesse it without a timing mark. Just go by sight and by ear, I guess, is the plan. I really don't feel like digging in there and, I've got that timing cover. That's what I've got. That's what I'm rolling with. So, lots of stuff going on. Change of career, change of view of oneself, my self-esteem, my purpose, and then project, sort of the more aggressive aspect of my projects I am now ready to give attention to. So I'm at the point where I'm recognizing the universe is asking me to state my intentions. Like, oh, what do you intend? And, the value in it is making it happen. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making it happen. Yeah. We're all on our own journey thing. So, hi everybody. And thank you to new subscribers who have joined and haven't seen a video since they've joined. It's a curious thing, people adding themselves, subscribing. So, anyway, here we go. Again, phase 2. I don't know what you call it. Phase. It's all the mechanical, not mechanicals, well, yeah, the engine stuff that Anthony and other people enjoy. I've never done it before, and I feel like if you choose poorly, you will die and melt like the Nazi in Indiana Jones.